Hello.
Okay, good afternoon all of you. So we are continuing with the same chapter, rational and irrational numbers. Now these numbers, root 2, root 3, root 5, these numbers are irrational because if you try to calculate them in decimal representation, then you will get a non-terminating decimal which is not recurring. So they are all irrational numbers. Okay. Now, uh, irrational numbers, one very important thing about irrational numbers is that whenever you have an irrational number and you have to do some question or some solving, you have to calculate to two decimal places or three decimal places depending on what is required in the question. Okay, you know that root 2, root 3, we cannot get the exact value. So depending on the requirement of the question, you have to say the answer to two decimals or three decimals, depending on the requirement of the question. Now, suppose if the irrational number, if it is in the denominator, like suppose you have 1 by root 2, 1 by root 3, 1 by root 5. Suppose if the irrational number is in the denominator, in that case, what you'll have to do is, then this calculation becomes a slightly more complicated calculation because you are having an irrational number in the denominator. So whenever a sum like this happens, where the irrational number is in the denominator, what we do is we multiply above and below and below with a number which will convert the denominator into rational number. So suppose you multiply above and below with root 2, so it will become root 2 by root 2 into root 2. You multiply above and below with root 3, so root 3 by root 3 into root 3. Multiply above and below with root 5, so root 5 by root 5 into root 5. So ultimately this fraction will be root 2 by 2, this fraction will be root 3 by 3, and this fraction will be root 5 by 5. So this method of multiplying above and below by a number to convert the denominator into a rational number, this method is called rationalizing the denominator. So this method is called rationalizing it is called rationalizing the denominator. So I have multiplied the numerator and denominator by the irrational number, which will convert the denominator to rational. So this method is called rationalizing the denominator. Now rationalizing the denominator, you may also have to use some algebraic identity. Like say for example, suppose if you have a question like this, 1 by root 5 minus 2, or if you have a question like this, root 3 minus 1 by root 3 plus 1. Suppose if you have a question like this or a question like this. So rationalizing the denominator So what I am doing is, for rationalizing the denominator, I am multiplying above and below by a number which will make the denominator rational. So I am multiplying above and below with root 5 plus 2. So that is the numerator is now becoming root 5 plus 2. Denominator is root 5 minus 2 into root 5 plus 2. So ultimately, this will become root 5 plus 2 and this denominator will become 5 minus 4 and this will become root 3 minus 1 whole square and this denominator will be 2. So ultimately this will be root 5 plus 2 and this is 2 minus 3 minus 2 root 3 by 2. So that is coming to 2 minus root 3. So if I multiply above and below with root 5 plus 2, so root 5 plus 2 by root 5 minus 2 into root 5 plus 2. So this is root 5 plus 2 by 5 minus 4. So that is coming to this. This is the answer. And in this one, you have to multiply above and below with root 3 minus 1. So denominator will be root 3 plus 1 into root 3 minus 1. That is coming to 3 minus 1. So ultimately root 3 minus 1 whole square by 2. So 2 minus root 3. So this is the technique called rationalize the denominator. That means you have to take the help of some algebraic identity to convert the denominator into a rational number. And once the denominator becomes a rational number, then it is considered to be a more routine calculation. Okay. So this is the topic for today, and the homework is as follows. Okay, now these are the 5 homework questions for today. Rationalize the denominator. First one is 1 by 2 plus root 3. Second one is 1 by 5 plus 3 root 2. Third one is 1 by root 6 minus root 5. Fourth one is 4 by root 7 plus root 3. And fifth one is 3 minus 2 root 2 by 3 plus 2 root 2. So all of them you will have to rationalize the denominator. So these are the 5 homework questions. And you can submit the homework by 9 p.m. of tomorrow. That means 9 p.m. of Wednesday. So that will be all. Thanks a lot, and I'll end this session. Bye all of you.